Hi everybody. So today I am going to do a tattooed smoke cup for you. So it's pretty easy. Make sure you have whatever candle you want. This is just a house candle that I had bought and that I use. Have your cup painted white. And I also have a cup already done here so that I can go on straight to the tattoo process without having to stop. So get a fork. The fork is the best thing to use with your smoke cups. It puts off more of the smoke for you, easier to use. So I just stick my fork into the candle like this, and I let the black smoke start coming off. It will burn the fork. Make sure you don't hold too close to the part that's in the candle itself, because that will end up burning you and it hurts. I've done it a few times, so make sure that you do that and keep it at a safe distance for you. So you only want it a few inches from the cup itself. You want that smoke to get on there. It really is depending on you and how much you want on the cup. If you want it darker or lighter, it really is all up to you. The longer you hold it in the one spot, the darker it'll get. So it's all on preference. I like mine to be a little on the darker side on some of them. Some of them I'll do lighter. It also depends on what you're putting on the cup. I think that has a big thing to do with it. So you just keep moving the cup up and down to let the smoke roll on it. You also roll your cup as you go to make sure you're getting nice coverage everywhere you go. As you go, you'll see the smoke start to appear on the cup. You can do it with different colors. It doesn't have to be white. You could do it as long as it's a light color, like light blue, lilac, light pink. You can do it on pretty much any color you want. I personally haven't tried it on a black cup, so I don't know how it would look on that. You just keep going around the whole cup until it is completely covered. So I'm just going to get it on the cup itself. I'm not going to go too dark with this one. Make sure that you don't touch the cup where the smoke is. It will rub off. So you want to be careful not to touch the cup after you put the smoke technique on it. You want to seal it with a clear sealant before you touch the cup itself. That way you don't have to worry about your smoke rubbing off, because once it rubs off, you're going to have to do this all over again. And I actually touched my cup one time and it rubbed the smoke off, and I had a really hard time getting the smoke to cover up that spot again. So I would just suggest not to do it. It's kind of a pain in the booty. So I'm just going over the whole cup. I have a little bit more here to do. I probably won't go very dark over the whole cup. It might have some dark spots. It might have some lighter spots. It's all really how the smoke falls onto the cup. And I just like the technique underneath the tattoos, so I'm not too particular on how it goes onto the cup itself, as long as it goes on there. Once your fork has that darkness on it, the smoke that comes off gets a lot darker, and that helps it get covered faster for you. And it'll give that darker burn look to it. This is popular for the tattoo cups. You can do it with like the fireman cups and stuff like that. Pretty much anything, really. There's no right way or wrong way to do this. You just kind of figure it out. I'm just giving you the basic tools to do it. I have found that the fork does work the best. I've seen other people try butter knives, spoons. Everything else, it's just the fork works for me. So I went to the store and got a cheap fork, and that's what I use. So make sure you get your butt. Always get the butt to your cups. I'm not getting too particular here with the butt because I do put my initials on the bottom to mark it. I know some people put their brand, like a sticker or whatever, on it, which is completely fine. So once you have it completely set, remember, don't touch the cup. Don't put your fingers on it because it will wipe off and you're going to have a hard time getting it back on. At this point, it has it on there, so I will seal it with a clear spray before I go any further with the cup. But I am going to set this one to the side right here. And this is one that I had already had previously smoked and sealed. It has the clear seal on it so that I can touch it without it rubbing any of my smoke off. So at this point, I'm going to set all this aside. Make sure you don't touch your fork. It is super, super hot. So at this point, you want a bowl of water and either a rag, paper towels. I'm going to use paper towels because it's just like adding... I know I'm off camera, hang on. It's just like adding a tattoo to your skin. It's exactly the same. So I have a couple tattoos here that I'm going to choose from. I will show you guys. You want to make sure that it's the arm tattoos that you're using, but there's a few different ones here to choose from. I think I'm going to go with this one right here. I really like this one. So I'm going to take it out of the wrapper. Do not take the plastic off of the tattoo. It will stick to your fingers and it'll be kind of a pain. So all I do at this point is I personally lay my cup down so that I can measure out my tattoo. I'm going to cut off the extra from the top and bottom so that I don't calculate that into what I'm putting on the cup, so I have good length. So I just cut that off, throw that to the side. And then I lay the tattoo kind of on the cup to measure out where I'm going to cut at so that I don't cut past the cup. So this cup is kind of longer, so it's going to take some of the tattoo off. So I'm going to crease it where I'm going to cut it so that I know. And then I'm going to do the same at the bottom. Just crease it so that I know where to cut. Then I'm going to cut it. I am going to be taking some of this tattoo off because, like I said, it does have, it's not as long as normal cups. This is a 22-ounce fatty, I think. So I took some of it off, which is okay because once it lays on there, it'll be good. So next I'm going to take the other piece for the other side that you're going to put on, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to measure it out to the cup itself, crease it at the bottom because I'm going to use all that extra right there. So I'm going to crease it at the bottom so I know the right length. Then I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to try to do it straight. So all the pieces I'm not using, I'm just going to set to the side. At this point, you can pull off your plastic coating. However, don't lay it on the cup itself without the plastic coating until you are for sure that's where you want it, because it won't come back off. So I'm going to stand up because I'm sitting down. I'm going to measure it up to the cup itself before I actually push down. Then I'm going to push down in the middle and then wrap it around the cup like that. You want to hold it in place. Now this is where it's just like a tattoo for your skin. Next, you take your paper towel or your rag or whatever you're using, and you want to completely saturate that tattoo because that's what's going to transfer it onto your cup. So you want complete saturation. which completely wet. So I'm going to wet it all the way down. Make sure I get all the sides. Make sure I push it down so I can get all of it attached to the cup. Push it all the way down on the other side. You will know if you have complete saturation if it starts to lift from the tattoo itself. I just like to make sure because I don't want it to pull on accident and tear it. So at this point, you should just lift a little corner and see if the tattoo stayed. So you can see right there that the tattoo is onto the cup. I'm just going to pull nice and easy. Okay. And it had complete saturation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take another paper towel and I'm going to very lightly blot it on the tattoo so that I can make sure that I'm getting out all those air bubbles that might be there. I'm going to wet it a little bit because I see it didn't attach right there. I'm going to wet it and I'm going to lightly push it down. So I just wetted a little bit to the tip. So I'm going to lightly push all of these bubbles that were created that are underneath the tattoo to make sure that I get full seal on the cup. So I'm going to wet it again so I can push this on. And just make sure that it's completely attached. Okay, so there's that side. That side is on and attached. It went on beautifully, if I do say so myself. At this point, I'm going to go over it very lightly with a paper towel to dry it. Then I'm going to roll it over and make sure that I'm evened up when it is rolled over to be nice and even on both sides. Then I'm going to repeat the process again. I want to make sure that it's okay. Don't move. Okay. Then I'm going to repeat it again on the other side. So they will overlap on the sides a little bit, and that's okay. I know a lot of people will cut down theirs to match up exactly of the picture itself, and you can do it that way too. I'm doing it to show you. So you can do it that way too. It's completely up to you. So at this point, once again, I'm going to line it up to the cup. And I'm not going to touch it to the cup until I'm ready to settle it. So I'm making sure it's even. So once I have it where I think I want it, I'm going to go ahead and slide it down the middle again to hold it in place. And then wrap the cup again. And then hold it. Then again, I'm going to saturate it. Get it wet completely to make sure that it's going to release the tattoo onto my cup. And get the top and the sides. Once it's wet in some of the areas, it will stick. You don't have to worry about like pressing too hard or any of that. So make sure I'm getting the sides really well on both sides. Make sure it's completely wet. I am by no means a professional video recorder. I'm just doing this to help out other people to the craft. So I'm sorry if this isn't, if I'm in the way or anything, I'm really sorry. Okay, so once again, once I think that it's completely saturated, completely wet, I'm going to pull up a little bit. And I'm going to make sure that the tattoo stays down. So I'm going to lightly pull up and check it as I go. And it has complete coverage again. So then I'm going to take another paper towel, lightly wet it, and push down all those bubbles to make sure that it is attached to the cup. Because it does get bubbles sometimes, which is fine. It's fixable. So you don't have to worry. But you just want to get those down so that when you epoxy, you don't have any epoxy getting underneath your tattoo. Okay. So once you have all of the bubbles pushed down, I'm stuck. I'm going to lightly take my dry side and wipe off the whole cup again very lightly to make sure that all the moisture is off, all the water, so that it can dry. And you should have a beautifully tattooed cup. So I'm going to let this dry for 24 hours before I epoxy it, just to make sure that it's nice and dry. But you should have a nice tattooed finish. So that's it. I don't seal mine. I don't go over with clear spray or any of that to mine. I leave it for the 24 hours. Then I go ahead and just epoxy like normal. Once I epoxy, if a name is going on it, that's when I'll put the name on it after I do a layer of epoxy, so that the vinyl and everything doesn't lift the tattoo itself. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments and I will try to get back to them. If there's a video you want to see, you can always ask me and I will try to get one up. So thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.